And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode, and probably one of the last few. Well, more than likely, I'm going to do my best to get you an episode, at least for the last 4 days of the season. There will be plenty of games to pick. For those this week, if you haven't looked forward to the schedule as of yet, every slate is basically mid-sized to basically a good, decent, large size or whatever. Nothing too over dramatic. No 13, 14, 12 game slates, no. Today and Wednesday, I think both have the same amount, 6. I think tomorrow has like a 7, 8, and then the last day is like 9. I don't even think it gets to 10, not even double digits. So plenty of choices and what to pick, or what you feel comfortable to pick in these next few coming days as the regular season comes to an end. When it comes to that, I think, is it safe to say? Let me just check. Before I get back into what happened over the weekend and over the past couple of days, I'll look at the conference, and I think everything is just about set. Point-wise, it's still 3 points separating. Columbus needs pretty much Montreal to crumble, and I think Columbus needs to win out. I think in the West, all that's left is the Minnesota, St. Louis, and Calgary all fighting for spots. All fighting for the last 2 spots. So there's still some things to be worked out, but the only team that's in that playoff atmosphere would be Montreal. They're on the slate, and they'll be going against a team in Chicago who has fun playing spoiler. I mean, they've had great success against Colorado. They wouldn't mind messing around with Montreal's plans. Everybody else is either eliminated or situated, and also looking for maybe playoff positioning. Vancouver's out. Utah's on the slate. They're out. Chicago always been out for a while. San Jose's at the end. They're out. LA and Edmonton are 2 playoff teams. So it's one of those things that she's got to be careful to pick, but there are a couple of games. Now, of course, the San Jose-Vancouver game, yeah, that's whatever, but I think there's 2 games that I do really like. You have the Rangers out of the playoffs. You have at Florida or whatever sort of power play opportunity is there. Florida is somewhat healthy because they are getting Barkov back, but there's 2 games that I absolutely do like. We're going to let's first start with a recap. Didn't really do much with the San Jose game last night besides getting, a Toffoli single and a couple other things. But the Pittsburgh Bruins game was pretty cool. Got the Raquel power play point, Pastrnak for 2. I was able to get Ville Kuvanen for an assist. Young kid on the top line, Lindholm Geeky, things like that. Missed out a little bet right there. I actually had fun betting on the Islanders and Flyers game. As you see, a lot of stuff went on there. A lot of different pairs, 2 points this, 2 points that. And then I think from the last video that I did, trust me, I did a lot with that Islanders game. And from the video that I did, if I'm not mistaken, it started off rough because we definitely didn't get what we wanted from the New Jersey side at all. I think we pretty much blanked on that. So it started off rough. And then what happened? Kadri power play point, Coronado power play point. Frost got the power play, Coronado and Coleman combo. And then, the night just ended up, with how much we won. We actually made up for the losses of the Jersey bets, and then just made out even more because there was a lot of great plus money odds there. Backlink Coronado, Backlink Coleman, basically line 2, putting 10 got you $36 and $34 right then and there. That pretty much gets you almost everything back alone from the Jersey bet. So started off rough, ended up nice, and then definitely had a fun weekend. Let's get right back into it. And then it's also fun playing a little golf, DFS, NASCAR, DFS. NASCAR always off for Easter, so 2 weeks they're out of here. So that's 2 weeks to look ahead at Talladega. But let's not talk about that now. Let's talk about what I like here. In the Dallas game, we have a Dallas team that, yes, in the playoffs, currently the 3rd seed. I think it's safe to say that they have the 3rd seed. They could only maybe move up. They have a solid lead on Colorado, but they've been losing a lot of games. If Colorado tries to win out, they can possibly get the 3rd seed. Dallas is on a 5-game losing streak, if you haven't noticed. And it doesn't matter who the goalie is. They've switched back and forth, and no matter who the goalie is, they've gotten the loss. In the past 5 games, Dallas defense, and plus they are dealing with injuries. Now, will it help if some of these guys come back? Yes. But more than likely, Merrill Hastings is not coming back for the rest of the regular season. In most cases, maybe there's a possibility that if I'm not sure, maybe Essa Lindell makes a comeback. I think there's a possibility because I don't think they have any line confirmation as of yet. Because right now, with what they have in the D line, and like I said, besides that top line being somewhat good defensively, somewhat good. Like I said, you lose a little bit of your defensive presence when you get Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen is a one-sided player. That is it. Everything else is pretty much high event. Wyatt Johnson is a decent two-way center, but everything else is pretty much high event after that. So, giving up 7 power play goals during this 5-game streak. Also, the stat that I kind of cut off myself. In the 5 losses, they've had 4 games of giving up 4 or more goals. And in the other game that they lost in the 5 game, they gave up 3. So definitely opportunity here, but they're bringing back what was a great second line for about 2, maybe 3 weeks before they kind of moved Casper up to the top line. So Casper is back where he definitely found some success. His best numbers are on the second line with Kane, with the Brincat and Kane. So the odds are fine when you get the Brincat and Kane together plus 113. You know, double your money plus some. But once you enter Marco Casper into the equation, Casper by himself, if I'm not mistaken, is a plus 132. So him and the Brink had a plus 189. Him and Kane a plus 195. The only thing that sucks, they're not on the power play. So as you can see here, I didn't think I was going to do anything for the 7 o'clock window because there is 3 games. Dallas and Detroit are scheduled to drop the puck first. Then you got Chicago and Montreal. That's the only thing with playoff implications on this schedule. Everything else is teams. You either got 2 teams facing each other that are out, 2 teams that are facing each other that are in, or you got 1 in, 1 out kind of scenarios tonight in the 6-game slate. 3 at 7, and then there's the 8 o'clock that I'm really focusing on. But yes, Casper's best numbers are on that Detroit 2 second line. Sometimes when they did move stuff, he worked. I think if you split one, he worked better with both. But I think he worked fine with both. But he works better with the Brincat. But as long as he's on line too with one of those guys, like the rates and the efficiency goes up. So I definitely like these points right here. The only thing that sucks is that Casper is not on the power play. So not really a great thing. I mean, kind of a A-, B+ kind of strategy because it would be great if he was on that power play. But for that game and for what I'm telling you here, has given up 7 power play goals in his 5-game losing streak and has given up a lot of goals during the losing streak. Lowest amount 3. Definitely the second line points. And obviously the odds show what I'm talking about here because as you can see, it's basically almost a pick 'em, both in negative. Dallas is a great team, but the defense is absolutely horrible. Detroit, if you get a good Cam Talbot start, and the top 2 being at home match up, the Larkin line will get the Jason Robinson line. Obviously, there's no really good defensive line, but it kind of goes back on the Dallas end as well. If Cam Talbot shows up, that's why this game is basically a pick 'em, -115, -104, depending on who you pick. And like I said, the 5-game losing streak with Dallas, they've switched each goalie out. One goalie gets the 1 loss, the other goalie they switch back. The Smith, Ottinger. It doesn't matter. So home and road. This has happened amongst home and road. I think 2 at home, 3 on. No, it's 3 at home. I think 2 on the road, and the goalies alternate. So no matter who the goalie is, no matter if it's first change, last change, home, away, whatever how you want to put it. The defense is bad because they're dealing with a lot of injuries. So, and like I said, even if they get people like Lindell and maybe a couple people back, Merrill Hastings is their best defensive defenseman, and he's out. There was already a defensive deficiency when he was out. Now with Lindell and Harley possibly as well, then yeah, you're basically bringing up AHLers and people who probably shouldn't even be on the roster except for things like this. But the only thing Dallas could do is really drop. They can really either stay or drop. They can't really catch up or move up in their conference. But yes, that Dallas and Detroit game at first wasn't intriguing, but with the way Dallas has been playing, it is intriguing on the Detroit side. It's still intriguing on the top line as well. Just the odds benefit isn't great. You got Larkin at 170 and Raymond at 166, so you're probably looking at, what, maybe 123, I'm going to take a guess? Oh, not even plus 107, so you get that. And that's pretty much it. You can also take, because of the power play opportunity, you can take Moritz Seider for a plus 100 point. You can also get him for an assist. He is the quarterback on that power play one, and they will get the opportunities. Moritz Seider, Marco Kasper's plus 1265, plus 142 for Maurice Cedar. So, how's Marco Kasper with his assists lately? 1-1-0-1-2 shots, assists, plus 265. But he's a shooter as well. He creates and shoots. So, but let's get to the main event here, and then we could end the day on that note. And my favorite game, without a doubt, they just played each other. Obviously, I was comparing more of their recent matchup. The first matchup is obviously the first matchup between these teams. Was basically the beginning of the season, or you could basically say the first month of the season. American schedule actually started like October 12th, October 11th. So the first game between the Preds and Hockey Club was in Nashville. Nashville won 4-0, but that was all the way back on November 9th. A lot of things have changed. The Predators have gotten worse. Utah has raised... Basically, the reason why this is my favorite game is because you got two teams out of it, so you might as well get some crazy hockey. It does set up for some interesting matchup. First off, I think this is one of the games that also a lot of the goalies are getting confirmed now. And in this game, you do have Saros and Matt. Oh, crap. Okay, so they called up an AHLer from the minors. It's his first start. And it's good. Matt Violata is going to start for... That's something I didn't see forthcoming, but I think it makes sense. They're finally out of the playoffs, and they had Vejmelka started 23 consecutive games, so Vejmelka's season is pretty much over. Let him rest. I think they still have injuries with Connor Ingram and stuff like that, so might as well see what you have with these goalies left. Like I said, Monday to Thursday, most of these teams have 3 games. Just about everybody in the NHL have 3 games left, maybe 2 after the weekend. So more than likely, he's 25 years old. Like I said, he's from the Tucson Roadrunners for the AHL, so he's making his debut pretty much. No, it's not his debut. He's making his debut this season, but he does have 2 games of NHL experience. So this is the first time he'll see anything. So we don't know what we're going to expect here, but I still like both sides of this game. Just recently, this game went to a 4-3 shootout, and about 4 days ago, and just as you expected, there were power plays to be had. The power plays benefited the Preds. They had 2. When it comes to these 2 teams, both of these teams are in the top 6 in penalty minutes. And what's funny is Nashville 6, Utah's 5th. They basically both have 80% penalty kill. So the power play opportunities are there for both of these teams. So as we scroll to this game, to me, this is where the money can be made. I think we can at least get another 4-3, 4-2 kind of game. Like I said, now there's a variable in there when we have an AHL goalie. So we'll see. But I already have a bunch of bets here. The only thing I haven't done is put in the power play bets. I'll show you those in a minute. But like I said, the lines are pretty much confirmed with both of these teams. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Stamkos is on that second line. They got Riley, Forsberg, and Evangelista. So Stamkos and Bunting is very powerful to 245. There is possibility for 2 points. I don't think I want to get too greedy. I'll be fine with just the main combos hitting as it is because they are very profitable. Bunting by himself is a plus 162 playing with Stamkos. Luke Evangelista is on that top line. He has been playing well, or finish out the season strong, as you can say. Has 8 points in his last 10 games, getting about 17 minutes of play time. Hit a point by himself. A point by himself is plus 152. Ryan O'Reilly has had solid. Him and Forsberg solid end of the season. Combining them two for a point is 238. The odds are so good that I don't think you should really chase the 2 points. You don't really know where it's going to really come from. Obviously, the opportunity is with the power play guys. If I'm going to do 2 points, it will be with the power play units. So if I do choose to do it, it'll be like Ryan O'Reilly, Forsberg, Stamkos, Nick Blackenberg, Jonathan Marchessault, like stuff like that. Like things like that. Marchessault's on the third line too, so there's opportunity there to get the depth matchups of Utah. Barrett Hayton plus 100 by himself. On the second line, him and Smolch. Power play correlation as well, plus 166. If there's opportunity, I do like the opportunity. I already took a couple of chances. I already got 2 assists on Sergachev, which will be interesting. That second unit, here's what's interesting. Despite 5-on-5, that second power play unit has been playing pretty decently. I mean, they're not lightening up. They moved Brady Shea down to the, he wasn't really doing that well with the top power play unit. A power play goal here wasn't consistent. But he did have a couple of games where he had a few power play points with the second unit. And he does have decent shooters on that unit to swing to. He has Michael Bunting. He has Luke Evangelista on that unit. So I did take a chance. Sergachev to be the quarterback. Both sides should without a doubt get a ton of power play time. In the last game, Utah had 4 penalties. Nashville had 6. Nashville killed all 6. But out of the 8 that Utah had, Utah gave up 2 power plays. So the opportunity is there for people like Shea for 1 assist. There goes Sergachev 1 assist. I think one of the first things I did, I don't think he's there. I don't think there was a market for him. Let's see if there is now, because Nick Blackenberg was not there. And I still haven't done the power play props yet either. For a point. Because rosters do get changed. No, he's still not there, sadly. But the funny thing is, they do have Blackenberg on the power play roster. They do. Makes no sense, but they actually do. I'll show you right now, because I did do this research earlier. There he goes. Plus 550. I'm definitely going to be taking that. Those are the power play odds. The lowest is plus 190. 5th and 6th, they just played 4 days ago. And they just played 4 days ago, and there was basically 7 penalties to kill. And there was 2 power play goals made. So the opportunity is all there to get these points. Plus 190. Highest is plus 550. These are great odds to take. If anything, I might like individual 2-point props, but I definitely see assists and points for Brady Shea. I got to see what I did here. Because, I have to cover my ass, too, because the minute they score a goal, looking for them to score, to get another assist late is going to be iffy. Sergachev is plus money for 1 assist. Shea plus 200. Shea 2 assists. Sergachev 2 assists. I might need to cover my ass and see what they are for a point before I sign off on this video and end my day and get ready for tonight's WNBA draft. For a point, Brady Shea's plus 144. And Sergachev. Oh, okay, that did move. That earlier was in basically almost plus money. So yeah, take a Sergachev for an assist. And if I do take points, he could shoot one in and then score an assist. So maybe Sergachev 2 points is something that I'm looking after. That was like minus 108, minus 101, minus 104 early in the day. So for 2 points, if I take Sergachev for 2, he's probably like in the 400s. Okay, yeah, 430. Makes sense. But yes, I think a lot of money and a lot of crazy stuff can be made because the odds are so good. The odds are so good. When you look at the 1-point odds, one person way up there, Clayton Keller, minus 265. Fine, understandable. But after that, it goes down reasonably to Dylan Gunther, minus 186, and then drops to the plus 178s. But they got people on their line that are plus money. Like I said, Forsberg is playing with basically a 138 O'Reilly. He's basically playing with a 138 O'Reilly, and he also has Luke Evangelista on the line. That with solid odds by himself. Stamkos is playing with Bunting. So the opportunity is there. The odds are so good that it's no need to like point chase everybody. Like you're definitely gonna be making money, especially if a couple power play goals go off top right there. But like I said, anything 2-point, I'm not 2-point parlaying anything. I would rather take something singularly. That's the end of today's episode. Let's get it tonight. First starting in that Detroit game. Oh, and yes, one more thing before I end this. If I was to say, I just can't like ignore Dallas. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Cam Talbot, he's solid goalie. He can show up, but Detroit's defense is Detroit defense. After the top Larkin line is going to battle with Jason Robinson, there's nothing left defensively on this team. So, if anything, besides Rantanen being minus 215, and then you got Jason Robinson, you got even Rope and Henson minus 154. That's still interesting. Like I said, it's not the toughest assignment. I'll be surprised to say Jason Robinson and Hits gives me plus 122. Sounds kind of high, to be honest, with the way they've been playing. But if the line that I do want to go to is line 2, the Duchesne Granlund line, minus 132. Granlund is a plus 102 by himself, and that gives you plus 153. That Duchesne Granlund line is pretty solid. Even in the troubles during the 5-game losing streak, Granlund has 7 points. Duchesne has 10 points. So, and once again, it seems like when it comes to the end of the season, I mean, both power plays are evening out. Early in the season, obviously Granlund wasn't around, but the Dallas second unit was performing way better than the top unit. The second unit is still performing pretty well. So, I think the second power play unit is responsible for I think three power play goals in the past 10. While I think also we have about 3 for the top power play unit, so it's pretty even in these last 10 games. Like I said, and they're also enduring a 5-game losing streak. So that is the news there. I got one more thing to take care of before I get up out of here. Thank you for tuning in once again. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy, with another episode of Grade A Power Plays. 3 more to go for the regular season. Let's get this bread before it's all gone.